Welcome to the Milk Bar. Welcome to the Milk Bar. Welcome to the Milk Bar. Welcome to the Milk Bar.
Welcome along to episode 563 of the Milk Bar. Jason Forrest here with you as ever. And coming up on the show, we'll be chatting with Heather Wasty about her current project, which looks at the canals of the UK and how they've been brought back into service as leisure routes across the nation. We'll be having a chat with Beth Berwick-Lowe. Her A to Z of music is online at the moment. Talking of online music, Ian Prowse will be with us in a moment or two, chatting about his Friday night concerts and all that's going on with Pele Amsterdam and his own work at the moment. We'll also have a chat with Paul Goodrum as he's released a brand new album in the last couple of weeks, also talking about his work at Gailey Pottery as well. We'll be catching up with Ben Bate and his family. They've got a family fitness series of videos available to watch and, of course, join in with online, so we'll be hearing from them. Alison Norton joins us to talk about the world of theatre and what's going on with many of the Amdram groups as they're currently on hiatus. And Chris White will be joining us for some live drawing. That's all on the way on today's show. As I've said before, Ian Prowse was the soundtrack to my university days. He's mates with people who would say the soundtrack to my sixth form, and he's been on tour with someone who's a soundtrack to everybody's lives, Elvis Costello. He joins me now to tell me more about what he's up to. Hello, sir.
Hey, mate, how you doing?
I'm good. You keeping out of trouble?
I'm being forced to keep out of trouble, unfortunately, which is a little bit upsetting, but there you go.
Yeah, I mean, with the music you've been doing for many a decade now, I mean, you've got a legion of fans across the UK, across the globe, Pele Amsterdam, and the work which is kind of Pele Amsterdam stuff together over the last few years itself. So, you know, it's it is just a massively important sound in my head and something I've always enjoyed listening to. Am I doing the fan worship well enough yet? Is that working for you?
That's good. It's good.
But what's been going on? Because it's like you've had to take a break from a national tour because of the issues around the world at the moment.
Since we started the tour, it was always in the background, you know, what was going on globally with the virus. And as it went along, it just became, we always thought we'd get through the tour. Everybody did, you know, everybody on the tour. And as it just came along, I think we got to Manchester and we kind of realised it was got much more serious, and that it was in all likelihood we wouldn't actually get to the very end of all the shows, which was really, really disappointing, you know. But then we kind of, once we'd all got our heads around it, we realised that the last show of the tour would be at the Hammersmith Apollo. So I was just very glad that I got to play the Hammersmith Apollo before it all ended. So,
but what have you been touring with at the minute? Because when you're support acts, you can still tour with your brand new album, can't you? That's still allowed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this whole virus situation, it's affected every last, you know, aspect of our lives, hasn't it? You know, I had an acoustic tour, 16-day acoustic tour booked in for after the Elvis Costello shows. So that's all gone, and I do things like master songwriting classes in universities, so they all went. And I looked after the Monday Club here in Liverpool at the Cavern for other artists, and that's had to stop. So there isn't any aspect of our lives as musicians, or just, you know, people who do all sorts of jobs, that hasn't been affected by it. So I think once you realise that the entirety of normal life was going to change profoundly, then you could kind of get your head around it and work out how you're going to stay safe, how you are going to possibly, you know, still make some income while it was all going on. And also just get over your disappointments, you know, the fact that these things will, you know, there'll be gigs further down the line. Hopefully the Elvis gigs will be rescheduled. My solo gigs are already rescheduled.
Yeah.
And we just have to hope for the best that, you know, your nearest and dearest don't get ill.
Yeah, that's the thing. It is about making sure we are socially isolating. But yeah, I mean, you, like many others, have been sharing your music online just to keep everybody and yourself ticking over, enjoying life, and letting the magic of music and the arts be the thing that gets us through this, as I think we've pretty much always expected it would be. If ever a difficult situation comes along in our life, actually, we turn to music. That's why these things are the soundtrack to what we do.
I think so. I think music has shown itself again, you know, I mean, we already knew, but to people in general, that music is just, it's there up with oxygen, shelter, and food as a basic human necessity. Ask any anthropologist, they'll tell you that music has always been central to any human organization or community. You know, in the 15,000 years since the agricultural revolution, right down the middle of every society. So, and I think this has proved it more than anything. And I've been doing this every Friday night at 8 o'clock. I've been doing a gig live from my house just to make up for it. And it's just been really, at first I was doing it for the people who are missing out on the shows, but then I've realised I'm doing it for myself as well, and I really need it. I spend the whole week looking forward to it and preparing what I'm going to sing and what I'm going to say.
And you know, it's almost like if you do some covers, some of your new stuff, your old stuff, it's actually all visiting different parts of your life. There's things that tell a story that the whole way through. And if you can play a song which means something to someone, I mean, I hear, you know, Fair Blows to the Wind for France. And first album was Fireworks, and you know, I didn't have the album, but I had the single, and it's one of those things that I heard on the radio when I was, you know, in my late teens, early 20s. And it just sort of takes you back to a time when things were different, and there are people who were around you then who are no longer part of your life, sadly. So, you know, it is those triggers, and when we hear someone performing live, actually that makes it even more special. And you know, I think that really does make everything work. I mean, what are you playing at the minute? Because you've got recent work which is out there at the minute and available to buy.
What we're going to do with this whole, you know, we're going to play every Friday night during the lockdown, but behind the scenes as well, I've written a lot of songs for a new album. We did Here I Lie, which came out last year.
Yeah.
And behind the scenes, I've been it's accelerated making songs for a new record. So I've been sending demos of brand new songs to my producer to see if they're good enough. you know what I mean? So I've got that, and I've got a lot of organising to do behind the scenes because, you know, after the online home shows, people are buying a lot of merch off us, so we've got to organise that for when the lockdown drops, so everybody gets that. So to be honest with you, I've been more busy than if this hadn't happened. You know, so there's all sorts of aspects to it, and I haven't stopped. I've done quite a few interviews about how a musician works in this current, you know, situation. Because it's so strange and dislocating, isn't it?
Yeah.
For everybody. And
you've normally got something that's just happened to write about, whereas at the moment you've got something that nothing's happened to write about. So it's a different sort of world.
Well, you know, I'm old enough to have many decades of experience I can draw upon, and you know, songs are funny things because, you know, it's as if you have them on the cooker. You know, you've got loads of different pans on the cooker, and they're all cooking away. You put a bit of spice in that one over there. I haven't tinkered with that one very much. So I've had a lot of little tunes on the go, and I'm just, all that's happened with this situation is I'm bringing them to the boil a little bit quicker. But I have a great producer, and he tells me if a song isn't working, or it's, you know, or if I'm rushing it, or it needs more. And but thankfully I've sent him, I think, 7 songs so far, and he's come back extremely positively. So that's really heartwarming for me to know that I'm on the right track, because, you know, writing songs is hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
And it's making sure that it has got everything it needs. An Ian Prowse song, whether it's been for Pele or Amsterdam, wherever that music has come from, it's always been written with something that is going to trigger. And I mean, are you also listening to other singers and songwriters who are performing on live? I know you're bestie mates with Miles Hunt, obviously man of our land round here, and you know, he's been doing some great stuff online as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. Yeah, I've been tuning into Miles, and because I know Winky the dog as well, I have to see how Winky is when I've been down there to stay with Miles. So, but yeah, I mean, every time you kind of, you know, put your phone on, it seems like one of my mates is playing live. So I saw Alan Parry the other day. Alan, who wrote My Name is Desi Warren, which I have on permanent borrow from him as the great protest songs of all time. And just everybody I know, you know, most people I know are musicians, and they're all at it. So, which I love. You know, I think it's extremely healthy that people are have just immediately taken to playing their guitar and sharing music. And the great thing about it is, you know, if you don't want to listen, you don't have to listen. Just turn it off and go and look at some pictures of cats.
Yeah, there's plenty of things on the internet. Music is one of my favourite just at the moment, which is really helping.
Exactly. The whole thing I'm finding, you know, very positive. And of course, you know, there's an absolute wealth of great music out there from your past and everything, which you can go and. In fact, at the other night's show on Friday, I did The Whole of the Moon.
Yeah.
Just in tribute to the effect that the Waterboys have had on me on Mike Scott as his songwriting down the years. And I just thought these are the times doing these Friday night gigs where we can do that, where we can. It's not just about me playing my Pele and Amsterdam and Ian Proud songs. It's about, you know, paying some tribute to how I got here.
Yeah.
So, you know, I sent out a message of great support for the songwriting of Mike Scott, because it's been really influential. And of course, The Clash. I played the Clash song the other night because, you know, I just wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the Clash and the Jam and all that sort of stuff. The whole new wave explosion. So I get the chance to do all of that.
Ian, fantastic to have a catch up and a chat. Keep up the good work.
Anytime, mate.
You're online every Friday night. Where do we find you?
Just come onto my personal Facebook where I go live and it's public. You don't have to be my friend or anything. It's just public to the whole world. And come and join everybody else. We've been having a great time. It's a real, it's a real community vibe on there, and everybody gets welcomed in. Bring drink. It appears that a lot of people are drinking heavily.
Okay.
And people are drinking tea as well. So, but we're having a good night, and you know, I do requests as well. So, if there's any old song that you want, just let me know, and I'll see if I can fit it in.
Anything could happen. Ian, always good to speak to you. Keep up the good work, and we look forward to seeing you online soon. Ta-ra for now.
All right, mate. See you later.
Alison Norton is one of the queens of local amateur dramatics. She knows theatre like the back of her hand. She reports for the Express and Star as well, regularly reviewing shows down there, covering theatre across the Midlands. And she joins me now for a bit of a chat. Hello.
Hello, Jason. Nice to see you.
Well, good to see you
too. Are you missing theatre?
I'm missing theatre no end. But I mean, there's a few things that have kind of helped us through it a little bit. And we've been seeing stuff from a lot of the amateur groups online, because National Theatre are doing their thing. But this isn't an easy time because we are so used to bumping into each other at least once a week at a show.
Absolutely. I mean, we're missing friends, we're missing colleagues. Obviously, we're missing live theatre. There's nothing like live theatre. And my weeks have been really miserable.
Yeah, if you look at what we had in our diaries, all the shows that were coming up, and that's just at the Wolverhampton Grand. We'd got some great amateur stuff which is coming along. I've missed shows which should have been seen at the Prince of Wales. I know you'd have been in Brum as well, seen some fantastic stuff over there. And the week it all stopped, we should have been seen On Your Feet, which was a fantastic show. I was due to go and see Book of Mormon. Did you manage to get over to see that one in Brum?
No, I didn't. I wasn't going to Book of Mormon, I must admit, but I am down to review We Will Rock You on the 14th of April, or the 20th of April, one or the other. I can't quite remember which. But I've waited to see that for ages, and now that's obviously gone by the wayside.
Yeah.
Curtains, of course, at the Grand, that was another one we were looking forward to.
Yeah.
That's something that nobody's seen like forever. So we were all really looking forward to that, and of course that's gone, and it's just a very sad time.
Yeah.
But we have to be positive because all these shows will tour again. They'll all come round. We'll all get the opportunity. It's just not to be at the moment.
Yeah, everything's taking a break, but the work has been done, the work is there, and I'm sure with your own company, South Flash Musical Theatre, I know you're building up to a one-night show at the Grand again, as you did last year, as well as all the other bits and pieces that you have going on throughout. And as a company themselves, I mean, you guys must be still keeping in touch, because I mean, you used to meet once a week for rehearsals through a big part of the year.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of would have started rehearsal for the concert in April, so within the next couple of weeks, really, you know, looking to do auditions and rehearsals, but everyone is working hard at home. We're all staying in touch with our Facebook group, And we've been doing different things. We've been doing comedies and little sketches and little games and things just to keep in touch. And then we're hoping our musical director can start to do some online rehearsals with us. But of course, the big problem is the longer this situation goes on, the less time we've got for live rehearsal, and more to the point, the less time we've got for ticket sales. That's the big problem.
Hopefully at the end of this, though, everyone will be so eager, ticket sales will, they'll be falling over themselves to go and get some culture out in the real world rather than pre-recorded culture.
Yeah, we're hoping so, because everybody's been trapped in, they're all bored, and you know, I know people are going to struggle money-wise, but they will also find money for entertainment and enjoyment, I'm sure, because they'll be ready to get out there and have some fun.
Yeah, I mean, outside of the arts world, which is pretty much getting absolutely nothing at the moment, I know there's some help for the self-employed performers based on tax returns, etc. But it isn't an easy time. I know a lot of musicians who just simply have no work at the minute. It's the same goes for theatre performers, and I know, like I do, you follow a lot of the people that we interview when we're helping to promote shows, and we're taking jobs where it's necessary in supermarkets, and it's great to see there is something for them to do. Between jobs, actors always turn their hand to anything. It's part of being an actor; they know what to do in any situation. But it isn't going to be easy, but it will be great to see everything starting to come back at some point soon.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a very sad time. I mean, my own son, he works in theatre in London. He's a director. He's got no work at the moment. He's had to come home to mum and dad indefinitely. And we just don't know what's going to happen in the future, really, but we've all got to stay positive.
On the positive side of things, though, I mean, there is a lot to see online. I've shared a few of the old rehearsal shots of various companies who we've recorded things with in the past, and you've got the National Theatre doing what they're doing, and I mean,
that's brilliant. Absolutely. I mean, I got to see James Corden in One Man, Two Guvnors, which I didn't see live, but I've managed to watch it online, so that's incredible.
And the work that's coming out of Andrew Lloyd Webber's stable as well. And I personally think a couple of weeks ago at the Grand, we have seen one of the best Joseph and His Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoast we could ever hope to see. But there is a version that's been online of late as well.
Yes, absolutely. I believe Donny Osmond's been online singing songs from it as well. And, everybody in theatre world, amateur, professional musicians, actors, singers, dancers, whatever, they're all coming together. Not only to promote themselves, although I guess there is an aspect of that to it, but to entertain, because that's what they love to do. That's what they're paid to do, and it is a vocation.
Well, some great things, as we know, always in our amateur world in the Midlands. We're looking forward to seeing that back at some point in the hopefully not too distant future. But if people are interested in South Staffs, I mean, you've still got a wider variety of things that people can see online. Where can they go to?
They can go to our website, which is www.southstaffsmtc.co.uk. They can get in touch with me via Facebook, by email, whatever. There's lots of amateur companies out there who have really been cut short as well at the moment. One which springs to mind is West Bromwich Operatic Society, who were due to do Flash Dance at the Grand. I think that was April the 20th. So go to their website, webos.co.uk, to see what their plans are, because I feel sure as soon as this is over they will be performing their show, if not at the Grand elsewhere.
And companies will have paid for the rights for these things, so that money is sort of on hold at the moment, so they will need to use it and do these shows and recoup that as well. So anything that we can do support across all the arts, certainly go for it and do it.
I mean, in a way, South Staffs were lucky because we kind of right at the start of our rehearsal period when all this hit. But somebody like Webos, who've been rehearsing probably for 4 or 5 months, and to get to 2 or 3 weeks before the show and it be cancelled is such a shame. So when they do come back, please go and support them. And the other societies, all of the local groups, there's lots of them. Another one that springs to mind is the Tab Operatic Society, who were due to do Chicago, which is a huge thing for them. They're quite a small company, and Chicago is such an iconic show, and they got the rights for it, and they were so excited, and now, of course, that's ground to a halt as well. So what I would say is, as soon as the Amdram folks are up and running, please go and support them. And as far as the professional theatre is concerned, if you've booked tickets and the shows are cancelled or, you know, postponed or whatever, don't ask for your money back. Just donate that money to the theatre, because the theatres, although the ticket prices are quite expensive, we know that. When you know what goes into producing a show, you realise where that money goes. And remember that the theatre itself only gets a very small percentage of that ticket fee. So they're trying to stay afloat as well. So I would say, unless you are desperate for money, please, please just donate your ticket money.
Yeah.
Because that will help the professional theatres as well.
And it's about keeping those theatres there. And we know the grants are charity. The same goes for charitable trusts supporting many theatres across both the Midlands and beyond. So it is important that work is done. It's important it's there for us to go back to, and so we can carry on enjoying the community, the entertainment, and the value that all those performers put on stage.
Absolutely. We're very lucky in the Midlands to have so many good entertainment venues, you know, that are so easily accessible. So please support them, whether they're amateur or professional, please support them.
Alison, lovely having a chat with you. Great to see you for a change, because we haven't seen each other for weeks, and look forward to seeing you at a show very, very soon.
Yes, and you, Jason. Thanks very much. See you soon.
The Bluebird Bells do some fantastic things when they're allowed out and about. Vintage singer in that group is Beth, who joins me now. Hello.
Hello, Jason. You okay?
I'm very well. I trust we find you well.
Yes, not too bad.
Good stuff. Now, often you can be found in one of your vintage uniforms when you're being Beth Bluebird Bell. I mean, Beth Lowe, you are in real life. Today we find you relaxing at home a little, but it doesn't mean it's all been, you know, feet up. You've been performing quite a lot online.
Yeah, so I don't know how it really happened, but me and my partner Sam just decided we were going to do a couple. That's what we initially thought, a couple of music videos. He plays guitar, but it doesn't really do it so much anymore, but he still has guitar. So it just so happened the first song we chose began with the letter A. So I said, oh, wouldn't it be good if we did the A to Z of songs, therefore making sure that we've got 26 videos to do.
So that's going to keep you rather busy, I think. So how regularly are you releasing these?
Every day.
So we've got almost a month's worth of stuff there. And then what happens next? Are you going to use things like the Greek alphabet? Could that happen now?
Well, we thought maybe numbers. Someone suggested colours, I think, as well. However, I think by the time we get to Z, we're going to be well ready for a rest.
Okay, we'll see how it goes. You deserve a break at that point. But I mean, you are used to performing to huge crowds across the UK, and with the whole vintage singing sound thing. I mean, you have just got an absolutely phenomenal voice. And one video I saw online, it actually got 3 Beths singing along.
Yeah, so Sam is actually a videographer by trade. He's very clever with the programs and the software that he uses. And when I set him a challenge, he got that challenge. So I said I wanted, because I'm obviously normally in a group with 2 other girls. Yeah. I like 3-part harmony stuff. I wanted to be able to do harmony stuff, but I wanted 3 of me. So he managed to create that. That was great.
So with what you're normally doing, I mean, you are the vintage. It really is your thing. And what is your favourite song that you've been performing when out and about at events over the last 12 months?
12 months. I mean, we kind of have the 40 songs are so well known and they're such staples. We kind of have had the same repertoire for a long time. We do like to incorporate the odd thing though that's a little bit different. So we've been doing Walk Like an Egyptian, the 80s classic, but in like a 1940s swing style, and that always goes down really, really well. But you can't beat We'll Meet Again, Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy, In the Mood, that kind of stuff. But
it is such feel-good music, and that's the sort of thing that I think we need just at the moment. So how much of your alphabet have you recorded so far?
We have recorded, I think the last one we released last night was Q. That was a difficult one.
Okay.
So we've still got quite a few left, and we've decided most of them. but there's a few like X, it's slim pickings really for X. So I was wondering what we should do there. And then we've had a couple of suggestions for Z. So I'll be sad when it's all over, but at the same time, that a lot of work goes into setting it all up, like what you don't see, because they're not just recorded on a phone, they're all recorded properly with proper sound equipment and lighting, etc. So even though they look like they're just filmed sort of in the living room, kind of on a whim, that they're not.
Yeah, actually, to make something look like that is harder work than just throwing something together, isn't it? And it's getting that relaxed feel, and it's making people feel welcome at your place when you're performing. And I think, from what I've seen, I think you're doing that so well.
Oh, thank you. That's what we are trying to do, just keep it sort of relaxed, but also have some interesting ideas like the three Beths, or we had Sam playing both acoustic and electric guitar in the same video as well. So just fun things like that. But I think that's all we can do really at the moment, isn't it? We can't go out and about. So myself and a lot of other performers are inviting their audiences into their homes. A lot of people are setting up and getting all glammed up and doing full singing sets for people on Saturday night because they can't go out.
Yeah, they would normally be getting an audience reaction in a pub. You're now getting an audience reaction in your home. And, with the things that we had planned for the 75th anniversary of the end of hostilities in the Second World War, I mean, your sound, what you do, it really calls for this. So I'm hoping that a lot of this, if we're not able to get out early part of May, which is looking likely as things stand, it will all come together at a massive event, maybe around Remembrance in November.
Yes, they are also talking about potentially combining VE Day with VJ Day, which is in August. Fingers crossed, if we are sort of allowed out by then, I really do hope so.
Yeah.
We can have a mass celebration then, and as you said, with Remembrance too. It's such a shame because for vintage singers especially, we had so much planned for VE Day, but me and the Bells were going to be in Guernsey for their Liberation Festival, so obviously that's cancelled. And I know we're all just so disappointed, but obviously we understand we've got to stay safe, and if we can celebrate later on in the year with all of the veterans who are obviously indoors for quite a while now, then that'll be special. Yeah,
we've got to keep the remaining veterans safe. That's one of the important things that we have to think of. And we have to continue to enjoy our music, because this is what is keeping us going. Now, you're going to share a video with us now. What do we get to see?
Ooh, I think we're going to do Pretty Woman.
Okie dokie. Well, Beth, always good to catch up with you. Thank you for joining us. And where can we go to find out more about you and your work, and also see the whole alphabet?
So to see the alphabet, you can go to facebook.com/Miss Beth Bell, and that's Bell with an E.
Do that, check it out. But meanwhile, let's have some more entertainment from you and the team down there. See you soon. Ta-ra for now.
Thanks, Jason. Bye.
I don't believe you, you're not the truth. No one can look at
Chris White is multi-talented. He can draw for books in real life. He can do poetry. He can write stories. He's just absolutely amazing. He's here with me now. Hello.
Hello there. That was quite a build-up.
Well, you've got something to live up to now, which is always quite difficult. But I mean, you are a top fella. Some amazing stuff online from you, and it's good to actually catch up with you. And I'm loving the duck just behind you there.
Thanks very much. Yeah, freshly drawn, this duck.
Really?
It's still wet. It's still damp.
Okay.
Yes.
Ducks are supposed to be damp, so that's always looking good. So, I mean, obviously, you're often found in schools and events across the UK, libraries. You do quite a lot of libraries, and it's whether it be Bitey the vampire you're taking out with you, or you're just freestyle drawing randomly of whatever the audience desires. I mean, it's a different world to the one you live in at the moment.
It is. Yes. In fact, I should be visiting schools in Russia at the moment, would you believe?
Right.
So instead of being in Moscow, I am holed up in this little bunker here. Yeah, which is a little bit different. Yes, everything postponed, everything cancelled until later in the year. So I'm just hunkering down and waiting for, like the rest of us, waiting for normality to kick back in again.
But I mean, what is it you get up to when you do these things? I know, and you've worked with a local lad Ian Billings on stuff in the past, and you sort of both got involved in events. Yeah, we'll keep it.
You won't get to talk to him. He's hit the big time now. You won't get to talk to him now.
Oh, he's a celeb, isn't he? This is it. Radio 4 and all sorts.
Now he's 4, yeah.
But I mean, when you go out and you do these things, I mean, what do you normally get up to? Because say you should have been in Russia. What was the plan? Because I take it you spent 6 months learning Russian, especially.
Yes, of course. Niet. Russian. That's the only thing I know. Yeah. Well, I normally visit, if it's abroad, it's an international school. So all the children are supposed to be able to speak English, some better than others.
Some better than you.
Yeah. So I would go in, I'd take an assembly. So get all the kids in, and I would draw, I would read poems and tell stories, take a few questions. And try and get them excited about writing and being creative and that kind of thing. And then after that, into the classrooms, and would write poems, do illustrations to go with them, and try to make it fun, really.
See, I think the thing about your work is you not only can you produce something like that duck that's sat just over your shoulder, but also you will do artwork online as well. And it's a very different world, creating on a tablet or a computer to what you would do if you've got pens and paper.
It is, yes. The thing I find as well is that obviously if you have an audience and you are drawing with them and they're drawing along with you, you've got to keep it simple. So when you're doing it, online or for your own benefit or for a book or something, obviously you can get a bit more complicated. But you've got to keep it really simple. So it is, yes, you kind of have to, hate to say dumb it down a bit, but dumb it down a bit. Yeah, you've got to keep it kind of just simple lines that kind of come together to make a shape. So, yeah, I think that's where a lot of people get lost when you see illustrators kind of doing a draw along. That they kind of do their usual thing and it gets far too complicated very quickly. So it's not hard for me to make it simple.
Which is good.
Yeah.
But I mean, with your work recently, I mean, what have you had published of late? Because I think last time there was chickens involved when we got you in the studio.
Oh yes, the excellent book with Mr. Ian Billings before he hit the big time, Chickens in Art. Yes. Where we took various classic paintings and inserted chickens into them. It seemed like a good idea at the time.
I mean, it's sold well. It's been amusing people, which is absolutely fantastic. But what else has been going on?
Well, I've got it here. Look at this.
Yeah.
Right. I wrote this book called The A to Z of Completely Made Up Dinosaurs. Okay. Which, to tell you this, when one of these stranger visits I did recently was to Saudi Arabia.
I've been there.
Which is
have
you?
Yeah,
an interesting place.
I've interviewed you whilst I was in Saudi Arabia in some time in the past.
That.
Yes.
I think I was.
You were in China,
somewhere.
I think.
China, and you were in. Yes. Yeah. What did you make of it? Did you like it there? Or?
It's an interesting place to be. Obviously, there's lots of things that you don't feel as comfortable with as you would like. But overall, the people are nice. It's a good place that you feel safe. And it's you can get a KFC or Subway or whatever else. It's or Kudu. Kudu is my favourite takeaway restaurant in the world. Their wraps are absolutely amazing. I love Kudu when I'm ever in Saudi. But it's an interesting place, and if there was some equality in a lot of ways, then you would feel a lot more comfortable. But overall, I mean, the country itself is a very modern-looking country, isn't it?
It is, and it seems to be ever so slowly changing for the better. Yeah, you got that impression that they were finally coming round to. Anyway, I was in Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
Okay, and you know when you can't check into the hotel till like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Well, I arrived a little bit earlier, so I sat outside the hotel, bored, nothing to do except wait to get in the hotel. So I'm staring at a palm tree, okay? And I don't know if it was the heat or the jet lag or what, but I start to think that palm tree looks like a dinosaur.
Right.
Okay. It did a little bit, like on a long neck, kind of drooping down, you know. So my brain started going. I'm thinking, oh, it's a treosaur. Okay.
Right.
Which led me on to like, oh, it's an apple treosaur, which turned into the first dinosaur in this book, which is an apple saw. Okay.
Okay.
Apple saw. All right.
I thought that. That's good.
That killed about 30 seconds. So then I'm thinking, right, I wonder if I can go from A to Z and make up a dinosaur. Okay.
Right.
So some letters were trickier than others. But by the time my room was ready to check in, I had the A to Z of completely made up dinosaurs. Right. So when I got home, I sent it to the publisher and said, look, I've had this stupid idea, not thinking anything will come of it, you know. And they said, oh, that's good. And I was like, really? Okay. So
there's the book available now.
Yeah.
All good online booksellers, because none of the real ones are open just at the moment.
Oh, yeah, you can't get it. Yeah, in about 6 months you'll be able to buy this, yeah.
Yeah, but you can get it online now. I assume Amazon's got it and everything.
Yes.
And your website.
And my website. You can't buy it off my website. That's something I'm going to do while we've got nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Is get some kind of shop on my website.
Work on the e-commerce.
Yes.
That'll do the job. Okay, so I mean, you've got your board in front of you. I mean, this looks like a nice big flip chart here.
Yes.
What can you do a live drawing for us? When we get musicians on, we make them sing. So you're an artist. Okay. Can we make you draw?
Tell you what, by the power of the internet, let's do it together. Okay.
Right.
Because I'll do the drawing, you do the ideas. All right.
Okay. That sounds slightly scary.
No, it's fine. We'll be gentle.
Okay.
I'm just thinking. I've been.
What do you do? You're folding pages over. Right. Okay.
Well, I've been doing these YouTube videos.
Right.
Okay. Which I've gone somehow ridiculously well.
Okay.
I was asked to do one, and I've always stayed away from the murky world of YouTube videos because I've not got a face for YouTube, and I just thought it's not going to happen.
Particularly when you don't bother shaving and there's different patches of colour in it. But other than that.
And I was asked to do it, so I thought, okay, I'll give it a go.
Okay.
Thinking, maybe my mum and the next door neighbour will watch it. Mm-hmm. And quite a few people have enjoyed it. So one's led to two, led to three. I think I'm on about 4 or 5 now. Mm-hmm. But I'm now taking requests.
Right.
Okay. As to what to draw. It's like a draw-along video thing. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I've got to stay on my toes. Because you never know what people are going to say. Oh, can you help me draw a unicorn, or can you help me draw a dinosaur? So we're thinking animals. Animals are very popular, obviously.
Yeah.
All right. So between us, Jason, if it's okay, we're going to make up a brand new animal.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So all right, we're starting with eyes. Okay. Yeah. Let's get some eyes. Eyes is the easiest.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. There we go. Jason, nose, please. An animal's nose.
I think it's got to have the nose of a duck-billed platypus.
Okay, all right. Is that a nose or is that a mouth? It's a nose.
It's quite, but I think it breathes through it, doesn't it?
It does, right. Okay, there we go. Something like that.
Yeah, so it's a bit duck-like, but it's different, isn't it? So
it's different, yes. Nostrils.
Yeah.
Yeah. The ducks have nostrils?
I assume they must breathe through. So they don't have gills, we know that, so...
Yes, true.
I'll check one of your drawings later.
Ears, if you would be so kind.
I think its ears are going to be belonging to a giraffe, so we can have those little pointy things between them as well.
Oh, yeah, those little horn things. Okay, here we go, cool. So it's something like that there. Little horny things in the middle.
Yep.
That. Okay.
I can already see this on a greeting card. It looks amazing so far.
Little spots. They kind of have spots.
They do, don't they? Yeah.
Okay. So we have the duck-billed raff.
So far, yeah.
So far. Well, he's kind of got a mouth already. A neck.
I think.
Bearing in mind, we already had the giraffe.
Yeah, we've got giraffes. I mean, do we want to give it a? I mean, necks. Giraffes really do have the thing on necks, don't they?
Born of the market, yeah.
But I think if you're also thinking necks, animals which are going to have a good neck, it's got to be something like. Oh, how about a horse? Because you can have a mane
nice
then
horse.
as well, can't it?
I was thinking ostrich.
Oh, yeah.
But no, I like yours, horse. Okay, horse. So we're kind of going like this for horse with some kind of mane.
Yeah, a mane's good, you see. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, nice. I'm loving your work.
Yeah.
Okay, so something like that. Okay, so the duck-billed raff force.
Yeah.
The force. Duck-billed raff force. Okay. Body?
I'm thinking hippo.
Nice choice. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Because I want to see how you can draw that from there, which is, that's hippo-ish.
That's hippo-esque.
Yeah.
Okay. Mud. Get some mud on there.
Yeah.
All right. And a tail, just to finish him off.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be sort of a monkey's tail, because monkeys can do so much fab stuff with a tail.
Good call. Okay, here we go. Some kind of monkey tail like that. Let's get him on the grass. We have the duck-billed Raphosamusky.
Yeah.
We did it.
You can make a career out of this, couldn't you?
Well, I think we got a double act going here.
This could work. This could work wonderfully well. I'm already impressed. But that's real life drawing, like what only you can. So
there we go.
I'm loving it. So you're doing your YouTube. You've got other things going on as well. So we're looking out for Chris White. Just search for you on Amazon and all other good booksellers.
Excellent.
You can pick up some fantastic stuff there, and this will keep the kids entertained. But the videos will help too, because once they've seen a video, they want the merch to go with it as well. That's absolutely got to happen. So who are they searching for on YouTube? What's your channel name?
I think if you put Chris White, Create with Chris, because there's a lot of Chris Whites out there.
It's a
Chris White, Create with Chris. Ding! There we go. Put that in there. Or if you're on the Twitter, Chris White Poet, then the link's on there to get to the YouTube videos.
And that's how the magic happens.
That's, technology. What would we do during this if we did not have the technology?
Well, we wouldn't be having this conversation now, which is a thing, so I'm quite happy we are. Chris White, always good to catch up with you. Thank you for joining us. Keep up the good work, and I shall be going off to watch you on YouTube very soon.
Andrew, great to talk to you, Jason. Thank you.
In the time that I've known her, Heather Waste has been involved in all sorts of projects, from performance, music, written, art forms, the lot. She joins me now to tell me what she's up to at the minute. Hello.
Hello there. Nice to see you, Jason.
Well, good to see you too. And what is going on? Because I assume you've been working on quite a few projects until things have taken a little bit of a hiatus.
Yeah, I've had a couple of projects which have occupied a lot of my time recently, and I'm quite lucky in that they haven't been too badly affected by the situation, because a lot of it was home-based. Yeah. So at the moment, I haven't noticed all that much difference. It's just a few performances have been cancelled, obviously.
So what are you working on then?
The two main ones are a project called I Dig Canals, and a book about Cropredy in Oxfordshire. So I'll tell you about I Dig Canals because that is focused on the Black Country.
Yeah.
And it tells the story of the restoration and campaigning that went on from the 50s, late 40s, 50s up to the 70s to save the waterways. And we're focusing on the Black Country because my family was involved when I was a kid. So, I became involved. The project's called I Dig Canals because that was a campaign slogan, mainly by the Waterway Recovery Group at that time. And our angle is to focus on the women's involvement, because you hear lots of stories of what the men did, but you hear very little about the women. So we've been gathering stories from lots and lots of women in the Black Country via mostly interviews, audio interviews, long interviews in people's homes with women in their 80s. There's one woman we've interviewed who's 90.
Yeah.
A few younger ones who started quite early. And it's been absolutely amazing, the stories that we've gathered. And we're sharing them in lots of ways. Firstly, a book, which is, I've been working really hard on that at home. Secondly, some podcasts, which are up there at the moment. We're on episode 5 at the moment. We're also going to make all the recordings available at the National Waterways Archive in Ellesmere Port. There's a big canal museum there, and you'll be able to access those when we can actually get them to them.
So when this all sort of happened, I mean, the canals of the UK they took so much effort to put in place. I mean, so many people lived, worked, and died on getting the canals there, and particularly across our area, going through up to Liverpool was a big route from the Midlands, and sort of the travesty of so many of them being filled in effect when things were either left to pretty much just go to rack and ruin.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the canals started to get closed. Some before the war. The Droitwich canals were abandoned in 1939, and then during the war there was a bit of a resurgence because cargo carrying on canals became quite important, and then they went into decline again, and they were in danger of being lost until 1968. The Barbara Castle, who some people listening might remember, she was the Minister for Transport in Harold Wilson's government. She actually brought in a bill which designated some of the canals as leisureways or cruiseways, which meant that they were able to keep them open. The canal societies had to actually do the work, but they were allowed to keep them open. So that's when it all shifted really in 1968. And it was because of lots of lobbying by people like my family, who they got in their boats and they tried to travel along the waterways. And certainly in the Black Country in Birmingham, it was at times very, very difficult because they were absolutely full. Well, not absolutely full, otherwise we wouldn't have got through, but they were littered with all kinds of rubbish. And so it was a real struggle to get through.
And considering these waterways with the veins of the UK and with the Midlands at the heart, with the Industrial Revolution, moving goods around, it's amazing that so few generations after they were working so hard that they kind of stopped being of importance, and turning them into the waterways that are used for leisure as we see today has really just been an asset that it would have been such a shame to have lost.
Yeah, I mean, some of the canals we have lost, like in Tipton, there's canals that are now filled in. You can walk along one of them and see an old lock chamber. So it's not so good to see canals like that, but others now are flourishing. You go through Merry Hill, and that is now I'd hesitate to say lovely because it's modern buildings and brick and stuff, but it's so much nicer than when I was a kid. You'd go through there and there was oil all over the surface of the canal, and various places you'd get factories churning out all kinds of sewage, chemicals into the canal.
Whatever waste they got, it was just somewhere to dump it without having to think about it.
Yeah, and people would chuck their old furniture in, and there'll be shopping trolleys and bikes, and they were not nice places to travel, but the people that could see that they could be an asset, they made an effort and did travel along them and did try to get the locks working.
And with all of that, it's great for wildlife as well. And environmentally, they are a great asset. It is something to explore and a towpath to walk along when we're no longer in lockdown. Fantastic way of spending your time.
It is, yeah, and a lot of people are walking along the canal towpaths at the moment. which is good and bad. If there's boats there, it's not a good idea because the boaters will be on, if they're liveaboards, they've got no choice. If they're sitting on the front of their boat and someone walks on the towpath, they've got no choice as to how far distant they are from that person.
Yeah.
And I think some people are forgetting that. And some of the canals, they've actually closed the towpath because there's been so many people walking. But I'm lucky where I live because the stretch where we live doesn't have any boats on it. So I go out for a walk and I try to go there when there's not going to be that many people.
Yeah, you can use that as part of your daily exercise. So, I mean, when will we start to see fruition on this project?
Well, luckily we'd finished all the interviews. We'd got to the end point, really. So the podcasts are up there now. They're actually on SoundCloud. So we've done it on a free service. So you have to go and search for them basically on SoundCloud, but they're all there. We've done 5 so far. We're doing quite a few. We haven't finalised how many, but the series will go on for quite a while. So you can go to it's called Alarum Theatre. That's the company.
Yeah.
Alarum Theatre on SoundCloud, and you'll find you'll be able to hear to lots of these women speaking. There's lots of extracts from interviews. And the book will be coming out within the next month or so. It depends. We've got to think how we're going to get it out to people. We're planning to produce a film as well, so we want to tie it in with that. The interviews will go to Ellesmere Port, to the National Waterways Museum when they reopen. I mean, they're closed, obviously, so that they will be accessible in the long term. But there will be a film, which won't be too long coming out, and the book called I Dig Canals will be available pretty much, as I say, within the next month or two. We'll be advertising it.
Okay, well, something to look out for. I look forward to speaking to you then once we've got all that confirmed. Meanwhile, though, Heather Wasty, thank you for having a chat with us, and give us another rundown on where else we can find you online. Okay,
my website, you can find me on Heather Wasty, that's WASTIE, heatherwasty.co.uk, and then the I Dig Canals project is alarumtheatre.co.uk, and alarum is spelled ALARUM.
Well, thank you again. We look forward to seeing all of this stuff online. Some great content to keep us busy whilst we can't get into the great outdoors as we would normally do.
Thanks so much, Jason. Thank you.
Paul Goodrum can normally be found in his pottery in Gailey, and when he's not potting, he's actually also creating music. He joins me now to tell more about his world at the minute. Hello, sir.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm good. I trust we find you well.
Good, yeah, absolutely, yes.
Now, you'd say you would normally be found in the pottery in Gailey, the old church, creating some amazing pieces of work down there, and also producing music. In fact, with an album released just a couple of weeks ago. But obviously, some things are on hiatus at the moment, and certainly promoting the album isn't quite the way you would have anticipated it, as you would have expected to be playing a few gigs.
No, well, I've been doing it for about 12 months, and then, of course, we hadn't kind of had no idea of this cropping up, this virus cropping up. So what we decided to do was there was no way I was going to get the hard copies done in time. So what we decided to do was to put it onto the internet, onto iTunes, Amazon, all that sort of stuff, and then at least release it so people could hear it, download it, and then we're just doing the cover at the moment. A graphic design friend of mine, James Merrick, and he's finishing off the cover for me, and then hopefully when this is all over, we'll have it ready to go and get the hard copies done as well.
Okay, so what are we looking for? How are we branding the music these days?
Well, it's changed really, because I mean I've been brought up with a kind of a blues idiom. It's from the Rolling Stones and them, Manfred Mann, all of these sort of very early British blues players. And so I took all that on board, and then as I went through my musical life, I started to enjoy various genres of music, from jazz, obviously blues, even folk, touching on country, although not your kind of your thumbs in your belt sort of country, but some really good stuff about. And then what I decided to do was bring out an album, this latest one, where I was really touching base with all of these different musical genres.
Yeah.
As I did a little bit with the first solo album I did, which was a couple of years ago, which was called Once Upon a Time I Had the Blues, and this one has gone a little step further and brought in the genres that really did interest me. So I mean, I've got a whole raft of very good musicians on there as well with me.
Yeah.
And they put all the meat onto the bones of my songs and made some fabulous stuff. I mean, I would say that, but I mean, there is some really good stuff. Some beautiful playing by fantastic musicians, and all pretty local, which is great.
We expect no less at all. So, this music, you say it is out there online. So, what do we search for to get our hands on it, or it is on it, as the case may be?
Okay, well, the new album is called Extraordinarily Ordinary.
Okay.
The first album was called Once Upon a Time I Had the Blues. This one's Extraordinarily Ordinary. And just look for it on most of the streaming lines, stations, whatever, and you'll be able to download it and have a good old listen, which is great.
Something to look forward to. But I mean, your ideas and work continue in the world of pottery too. That's one of your main outlets. So,
yes.
so not able to attend work at the moment, though?
No. Basically, it's the studio's the old church at Gailey, and I'm just popping in probably once or twice a week just to make sure everything's all right. Bringing a few bits and pieces home just to do a few bits and pieces. I mean, I work on my own anyways, but I mean, even so, it's this idea: stay at home, help the NHS, kind of save lives, that sort of thing. So off the road as much as you can.
Absolutely. And what have you been doing online as well? Because I mean, I've been seeing quite a bit of your slab work appearing online.
Yeah, well, what I'm doing at the moment, I've got I'm technically inept completely when it comes to computers, phones. You know, I mean, I've got a bit of a brick for a phone, and I mean, I'm only on this because Louise, my partner, she set it up for me. And if you go offline, I'll have to shout at her. So everything I touch, technologically, everything I touch just is not me. I'd rather be sitting playing my guitar or making pots.
Yeah.
So I mean, I've got a Facebook site, of course, and I've got two pages. One's my music and one's the pottery. So what I'm doing at the moment is I'm going through all the archives of photographs, and I'm putting a few bits up of the work that I've done over the years. I mean, I've been in business since '76. Started over in Handsworth in Birmingham for 4 years, just outside the Jewellery Quarter, and then moved to Gailey. So it's a long time to make a lot of pots, and I used to sell worldwide. I've curbed all that now, and of course I've come back really because I mean our high street isn't what it was. You go down a lot of high streets. There's no galleries. It's coffee shops, banks, phone shops. It's the same old down every street, and we've lost a lot of our wonderful galleries, craft shops, emporiums, and so we've got fewer places to actually sell pots in. But people do come to me at Gailey. We've got a showroom down there. And so I'm showing a lot of the old stuff. I say old stuff, I mean some of the stuff I still make. Slab work, coiled work. I'm classed as a hand builder, as opposed to a thrower or a slab builder. I'm a hand builder, so I can bring in all the techniques and put them all to. It's like a juxtaposition of all the different techniques and bring them in. And I make all sorts of things from slab work, which is flatware. Right the way through to ranges of boats and commissions that I have. So a pretty wide range of stuff really, and a bit of stuff for everybody. And I did a book about 4 years ago, because obviously when you produce so much work, you have to have something that, especially gallery shops, they like to see something in prints that somebody has actually written about you. And so I was able to put everything down from the last 40 odd years into a book, and we had to work out roughly how many pieces of work. People like to say that it's always the question, how many pieces of work do you think you made? And the answer is actually when you come to you work it out through averages, and it's probably coming on for four maybe 500,000 pieces of work.
Wow.
Over that period of time, which goes from very small work to very big pieces. So you know, I used to do a range of brooches, and it used to kind of to churn them out, you know, in the day, and export them. So, you know, a lot of stuff, and a lot of interest still in my work, and, you know, just see how it goes from now in. Really, I mean, obviously I can't do much, but I can be thinking. So
yeah,
that's good.
It's the planning side of the art, which is always good. Well, that's fantastic news that that's ongoing. And if people can look for you, Paul Goodrum, and check out your work on Facebook, whether it be the music or the pottery. Now, I'm not going to ask you to throw a pot or build a boat for me just at the moment.
No, but we did say once that we were going to. I was going to come in and do pottery on the radio. Well, remember that?
We will do that. We will certainly still do that. I will turn up one day.
On the radio, yes.
Yeah, when we're back to normal, we'll come down and do some pottery on the wireless. I like that idea.
Yes.
But for now, though, have you got a guitar to hand?
Yes, I have actually got a guitar on my right-hand side here, yes.
Okay, would you like to strum a few notes on that and do us a little bit of a tune?
Yeah, with the new album, obviously with the first album, Once Upon a Time I Had the Blues, that one, I play in a blues duo, blues loosely duo, and with a guy called Vinnie Needs, who's a brilliant guitarist, and we go out and we do, you know, gigs whenever we like, really, and so we've played some of these, and so what we've done is I've rearranged them for a duo. The new album, we've not done that yet, so a lot of those songs, they've got to be kind of simplified down, because obviously we've got something like 30, maybe even 40 musicians on the actual album with us as well. Yeah. So as you can imagine, we've got to kind of simplify that down a little bit. But I was going to play the title track of the first album, which is Once Upon a Time I Had the Blues, and it also means that I can play harp as well, blues harp. So I've got to strap on a brace.
Okay, go for it. You do that. These are the technical things that you don't normally see when all this is going to happen. So I like this.
As long as the harmonica sometimes gets the dog barking, so he might.
But if you do a duet with the dog, that's okay.
Here's my story, it's sad but true. I was lost and my life was through. She left me, what could I do? Once upon a time I had the blues. Kicked around like an old stray dog. Stayed in bed and I lost my job. Direction gone, just rain or sun. Once upon a time I had the blues. My friends were good, but they could not replace touch of your hand and a smile on the face. I lost my way, but much too late. Once upon a time I had the blues. Now my light has disappeared. I got something I want you to hear. Everything dark, nothing seemed bright. When you find yourself down at the bottom of a hole, you gotta reach up into the light. All right. Now my life has disappeared. I got something I want you to hear. Everything dark, nothing seems bright. When you find yourself down at the bottom of a hole, you gotta reach up into the light. Now my long-lived kiss at last, memories fade and the love is past. Life seems good and it's moving fast. Once upon a time I had the blues. She came on just like a neon light, high-heeled shoes and a dress so tight. My life is good and the future's bright. Once upon a time I had the blues. Well, that's my story, it never ends. And I got a message I want to send to you, my friends. find your love and your heart will mend. Once upon a time I had, oh yeah I had, once upon a time I had the blues. Once upon a time I had, oh yeah I had, once upon a time I had the blues.
Fantastic stuff. Thank you, sir.
That's okay, no problem.
Good to talk to you. Looking forward to hopefully catching up back at the Pottery in Gailey very, very soon. Meanwhile, though, check out all your stuff online. And Paul Goodrum, thanks for having a chat with us.
Thank you very much. Nice to see you again. Take care.
Ben Bate is a personal trainer, and alongside the family, he's been putting together some workout videos to keep everybody amused and in good shape whilst on lockdown. And he joins me now to tell me more with some of the gang. Hello.
Hi Jason, how are you?
I'm good, you all right?
Yeah, we're doing okay on the girls?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, so tell us what it is you're up to, because normally you're working with people in gyms across the region, making sure that they can get to their fitness goals. But at the minute, our fitness goal is not eating too many biscuits, isn't it?
So what we've been doing is trying to do some exercises at home.
Yeah.
Because like you say, we do personal training, and it's been a bit hard with the lockdown. And we, first of all, wanted to keep the kids fit, and the kids wanted to do some interaction videos. So we did a family fitness video where we're all involved, we're doing exercises together, and we're just posting those on YouTube or Facebook. And we're trying to do some one-to-one training with our clients still, those that do want to exercise. We're doing a video chat of exercises, and they're doing that and they're enjoying it. We're shocked that it took off quite well. It was really good.
Yeah, so it's a case of taking where you are now, working it all out so it actually runs properly at home, and then making it into a fun experience for everyone, whether it is the family exercise stuff that you're doing on YouTube and Facebook, or whether it is the one-to-one video training. And that in itself, you know, they're actually getting more out of that because they're actually getting a reaction to what they're doing, and you're still working with them very often the same way as you would do if you're in the gym.
Yeah, and the good thing is obviously with the children being at home, sometimes the parents can't get their workouts. Obviously, they go off and do their own thing. But with the children being involved in ours, generally the children want to see their friends exercising. So we're getting a lot of messages off the parents saying, the children are enjoying seeing Macy and Maya their exercises, and we get to do it too. So killing two birds with one stone, keeping the children entertained and giving the parents a little bit of exercise as well.
And you turn it into part of the standard school day as well, because everyone is homeschooling at the moment. So do some interactive stuff with teachers online, but then also have the interactive video stuff to get the exercise and get the PE done. And maybe it's not playing rounders as we used to do at school, but it is still going to be keeping them active.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, it's just keeping everyone very active and keeping the mental health good, because mentally it's quite challenging being stuck in your four walls and only going out for certain things. So the physiological benefits of doing some kind of exercise are so beneficial, and the girls are seeing that as well. Breaking the day up with a little bit of exercise, whether it's a walk later on, but we try and do a fitness class as well, and we take balance. We're doing our little video. Maybe once a week we'll post one on YouTube and get some feedback from it. We're nearly up to, I think we had nearly 700 views on our first video last week.
Yeah, so that's good, great response. And it's also making a difference and helping people out. So what do we look for if we're trying to find the work that you're doing online?
So we've done different types of videos now, Jason. I've done some that are specific for maybe people who've got bad backs and maybe some balance issues. There's a couple of separate videos that anybody can do, no matter what health issues. And then we've got the family orientated videos where everyone's taking part. And then I've done a higher end fitness video that I've just done myself, where if you're after that bit more of a challenge, there's one video on that, and that's on that Family Fitness YouTube channel that we've created. That's been another challenge that we've done, is create a little YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Someone new to us, but we've learned how to do.
To look for you online, search for Ben Bate PT, and you can share stuff there. You can actually also take on new clients, and you have the advantage of the fact that you've got a gym at home, so you can show them a few things to do, whether they're at home or whether they've got some equipment themselves as well.
Yeah, well, if you search Family Fitness on YouTube, that'll be the way to find us now. We've kind of been since I personal trained you, Jason, back in the day when it was just myself. We've kind of got a bit of a clan now. Leanne's here as well. Say hello, Leanne. So here's the other part of the quartet. And Studio 45B is where we work at, but our YouTube channel is called Family Fitness, isn't it? And that was the girls decided that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, keep up the good work. Keep the videos coming. Make sure everybody's staying fit and healthy whilst they're on lockdown. And for now, though, Ben Bate and the rest of the family, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Jason. Stay healthy.
Bye.
Well, that's your lot for this week. Thank you so much for joining us. Back with episode 564 of the Milk Bar next week. I'll see you then. Ta-ra for now.
Goodbye from the Milk Bar. 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 Yeah. Goodbye from the Milk Bar. Yeah.